February 20th. Happy Inauguration Day. Whew, I feel a little better. It is almost 60 degrees here in Aurora, Colorado today, so I have brought you guys outside so I can show you the habitation throw with a person for scale. So here it is. And there it is. Turned out great, don't you think? We're back inside. I have a little help today. Zeus would like me to put this blanket down so that he can lie on it because it belongs to him. But I wanted to talk to you guys about it before I let him have it because, you know, he's going to end up with it. So I actually have woven in the ends, but I did not clip them because I didn't want them to come unmoored while this was blocking. I want to say about the blocking that I put this into a sink of warm water with some soak. I had a sample of that, so that's what I used. And not one single color bled even the tiniest bit. I mean, the water was 100% clear the entire time, which was fantastic. I was a little worried since there were so many colors in this blanket, and some of them are on the red side of the spectrum. I know that color is more prone to bleeding, but no, not a single thing bled at all. And I have another thing to talk about when it comes to this blanket, and that is with apologies to Helen Stewart. I did that thing where you decide that you know what you're doing, and then when it's too late, you realize that you were completely wrong and you've been messing it up. I was messing it up. So on the downward slope of this blanket, I was not decreasing correctly, so that I completely ran out of my minis right here, way before I ran out of stitches. So I thought, well, you could tear back to the middle and do it correctly. And the thought of that made me want to cry. So instead, I went through the stash and I found a couple of other yarns to finish this out with. And you will see from the pictures and me holding it up that it has one weirdly extra pointy corner. That's not a deal breaker for me in a blanket as long as the colors look okay. Mostly it's going to be, you know, there's going to be a cat on top of it, so I doubt anyone will notice. So here are the extra colors that I used. This is an experimental color that I got from a dyer who, this is becoming a sad theme, who is not dyeing anymore. Her company was called Soft Lake Kittens, and she was from New Zealand. I bought this a million years ago when she announced that she was going to stop dyeing. I kind of went into her shop and just bought everything that I could get my hands on because I knew that was my last chance and I had admired her colors for so long. This is the first time I have used any of that yarn, and it has been years. But anyway, this is Soft Lake Kittens. This is a DK weight. And then this right here is actually a worsted weight. It's Queensland Collection, and also discontinued. So sorry about that, but that's what you do. You use up what you have. And I think the color progression looks really nice with the rest of the blanket. I'm really happy how it blocked out too. I mean, I know garter comes alive and stretches out really nice when you block it. Normally, I will admit to block things, I will pin them to the wall with thumbtacks, which is not an approved blocking method. It works really well for shawls, but I think when I started to do that with this, but it's way too heavy and I was afraid it would rip. So I just squished as much water out of it as I could, and then I kind of tossed it around like a pizza and draped it over the ottoman. And then the cat laid on it, which, you know, definitely helped. And it was dry by the end of the day. So I'm really pleased with my habitation throw. I plan on leaving it over the back of my chair here in my office. And whenever I get a little chilly, I will just wrap it around myself like a big Advent hug. My row 1 mini skeins came in the mail, and I have been saving them to open up with you guys. So I belong to the row 1 yarn club. It's called the Carnival of Color, and every month they will send you 10-gram mini skeins from a different dyer. So they always send a little packet with the information about the yarn and a little treat. This month the dyer is, I feel like I'm at like the yarn Oscars, and the dyer is 29 Bridges Studio from Laytonsville, Maryland. Mary Heron is the dyer behind 29 Bridges. I will link row 1 yarns below. So let's open up the package and see what we got this month. All right, so I've dispensed with the crinkly outer packaging and have just put all the mini skeins in a pile on the floor here in front of me. So I'm just gonna grab them one by one and we'll look at them and I'll tell you the color names. Oh, this one's called Harbor. Oh, that's pretty. I just love yarn. I know you understand. I just like colors. This one is called Miss You. Oh, I love that too. Look at that great. It's like every crocheted poncho from the 70s that you ever found in the thrift store and then kicked yourself for not buying. Maybe that's just me. I did actually at one point in my life own multiple crocheted ponchos from the thrift store. But if I had seen one like this, I would have bought it. Here is Aubergine. Beautiful. Patina. There's some pretty speckle in that. In fact, let me see that right there. Oh, so nice. Banoffee. That's a little orangier than it is in real life. It's kind of a, it's a deep gold. It's like vanilla wafers gold. This one's called Finch, which actually that's a great name for this color. There are some house finches sometimes in our neighborhood, and this is the color of their heads. It kind of shades down into their bodies, which are brown. That's really pretty. Ooh, rose gold. That's nice. And again, a color that I probably wouldn't purchase normally, not because I don't love rose gold, but because anything this pale just doesn't look great on me, but it'll be really good in a scrappy project or in my warm tones blanket up here up behind my head. And that's what I love about mini skeins. You just get to try all kinds of different things. This one's called October. It's got speckles of purple and gold and a little red. It's so pretty. This one's called Truffle. Kind of a nice gray brown. And finally, Cider. That one's really pretty. That's like a beige with a speckle of gold, orange, and navy. Well, that's made my day. I hope that you enjoyed looking at it too. So that was the Row 1 Yarn Carnival of Color monthly subscription. The dyer this month is 29 Bridges. I've got a little clip of video from out in the world for you guys this podcast. Every year in Denver, there is an event called the National Western Stock Show, and it happens in January. In fact, it's kind of local tradition that you don't take your Christmas decorations down until the stock show is over. So there are still a lot of decorations hanging around town, and they have a parade every year. In fact, they used to drive cattle down the street in downtown in the earlier years of the stock show. This year, they did not have a big parade, and they definitely did not drive cattle down the streets of downtown. But they did bring a selection of the parade to the Children's Hospital where Leah works. And she very kindly ran out of the building and got a little video of the parade for us. So I'm going to put that in here. So, it's been kind of a wild 2 weeks, huh? How is everyone doing? I have to say, I do feel a lot better today than I did at the beginning of the week. Today's actually Thursday, the 21st. And I ducked away from work a little bit yesterday to watch the inauguration, which was really great and makes me feel a lot of hope for the future. Also, how good was that poem? So great. That woman's amazing. But I really haven't gotten up to too much in the last couple of weeks that's that interesting. I did buy myself a late Christmas present. I love seltzer water, flavored seltzers, and I had gotten into a 2 cans of water a day habit at least. So I looked into it, and a SodaStream, which is a little machine that carbonates water, was very reasonable. I got one for about $60, more or less. And it came, and I have been drinking my own fizzy water. This has cranberry juice and lime juice in it. And I'm very happy that I will no longer be using all those aluminum cans. It just comes with a 1 liter bottle and a canister that you can return when it gets empty. So, hooray for making your own seltzer water anytime you want. Pretty good. Actually, better than the stuff you buy at the store. I once saw some meme about seltzer water that said the real flavor should be things like in a room next to a grape or shy watermelon. As I've mentioned, like with my tea, I like my flavor strong. So now that I'm making my own, I can put as much juice in there as I want. I did make one more thing during these past 2 weeks, and that is this. Oh, it's bright. This is Knit Brava bulky and some random scrap yarn. I have a bag of hats for charity, and every once in a while I'll just make one and pop it in that bag. And I have a lot of actually this Knit Brava, which is 100% acrylic, to use up. A couple of years ago, when Knit had their great big fall sale, I bought many balls of this yarn with charity knitting in mind, since it's bright and cheerful and sturdy and washable. And actually, one of the ladies that I know from work contributed $20 to the cause because she's so nice. So I have a great big bag of this acrylic yarn to work through. And this seemed like as good a time as any to make another hat for the pile. Another very bright hat for the pile. I had to get this bright blue. I got some bright orange also because, obviously, Broncos. Not that I'm a football watcher, or should I say American football watcher. I'm not. But there's the hat. In other news, my South Bay sweater proceeds pretty slowly. I did spend most of the last 2 weeks working on finishing up the blanket, especially because it ended up being a little bit bigger than I had anticipated. Oops. But I got some progress done on the sleeve. There's my progress keeper. That's a little one from Forest Charm. It's a little pumpkin. See if I take my face out of it, if it'll focus. And I'm using a companion stitch marker. These are so pretty. But yeah, that's the progress I have on my sleeve. This project will now move into first position, and I will be focusing on it for the next couple of weeks. I'm really hoping that I can get it done maybe before the end of the month. That might be too optimistic, but hey, goals are good for everybody, right? So again, this is the South Bay sweater by Sam Lamb. I am knitting it out of more knit picks. This is Swish DK. That's 100% wool. It is a nice dark green color. That is not coming out at all. It's called Lost Lake Heather. Let me hold it up this way. There we go. That's better. And I know I've mentioned I'm not a sweater knitter, so everything that I do on this sweater is sort of a leap of faith. And even more of a leap of faith, I actually have a whole outfit planned around this sweater. I have a dress and some tights. And if I do get this done, I will put the whole thing on for the finished object video. So wish me luck, guys. That's just about all I've got for this time. I really hope that you're all doing well and staying healthy, and that 2021, despite that little bobble there at the beginning, it was more than a little bobble, but you know what I'm saying. I hope that 2021 is giving you some things that you need and giving you some things that you want also. I will see you guys next time, and until then, party on.